Oh, yeah. That's why we test things. Because it always helps the recording process if we've got the right microphone configured as the primary recording device. Come on, Randy, that's what I'm paying you the big bucks for. Oh, Messiah. Oh, he walks on water. Yes, the Messiah. We're still here at Fort Collins, Colorado. We are still basking in the glory of the Messiah's visit to CSU campus. Oh, it was so wonderful. He talked about the hope and the change and all the wonderful things he's going to do when he gets elected president. He neglected to mention that he's been president for 4 years already, and all he's done is sign the indefinite detention bill. And what else has he done? Oh, yes, he's escalated the war in Afghanistan. Oh, yes, and the unemployment rate has gone up for college graduates in the time he's been president. We're going to talk about some of that because I feel an episode of Cult of Personality coming on today. I think it's going to happen, Randy. Buckle down because this might be a long one, because remember, you are wrong and I am right. How does that happen? How does that happen? I know you want to know because you're curious, little statist out there. Your tiny little brains need something to wrap themselves around, and so you wonder, how can you be right all the time? Well, it's simple. I'm right all the time because I am the Great One himself, and this is Stating the Obvious, the weapons platform from which I launch the cruise missile of my intellect. It moves in on, destroys, and blows the motherfucking living shit out of all fucking ignorant ass stupid fuckwad statist out there, whether you suck Obama's cock, or whether you suck Romney's cock, or whether you suck Ralph Nader's cock, or even if you suck Ron Paul's cock. It doesn't matter which statist, politician, fuckwad you worship. It doesn't matter which fucked up statist ideology you claim to believe in. It doesn't matter which fuckwad mass murdering politician's poster you have on your wall. You are a statist motherfucker, and I hate you. I hate you with every fucking ounce of my existence. Because, you know why? Because your entire life revolves around forcing other people to do what you want them to do and using violence. I hate you because I know that you, given the opportunity, will stand back, not only not intervene, not only allow, but actively support the government as it murders people for believing in freedom, as the government murders people for having drugs, as the government murders people when it breaks into the wrong home on a drug raid, as the government murders people in foreign countries with flying robots. As the government murders people, you fucking support it. Actively support it and root it on, because it's the government and the government knows best. And when the government comes to kill you, I'm just going to watch. Oh, I'm just going to watch. I'm not going to intervene. I'm not going to help you. I'm going to fucking just watch. And you say, oh, but Great One, the government would never hurt anybody. No, of course not. Ask the American Indians. Look how happy they were before the state came to be on the North American continent. Then they got put in reservations. They got exterminated. They got murdered. Their women got raped. Their children got killed. Their warriors got slaughtered. They got put on reservations. Then, when the reservations turned out, the reservations had shit there that was actually valuable under the ground. Oh, we gotta move you somewhere else. Sorry, we know we signed this treaty and said you could have this land, but guess what? We're the state. We're the government. And hey, we were elected. We can do whatever the fuck we want because we don't need to have morals, because we decide what's right and wrong. Ask the Japanese people in the concentration camps. Oh, the state will never do anything like that to people. No, ask all those black guys that were participants in the Tuskegee experiment. Ask all those people that were sterilized against their will by the federal government. Ask all of those people about how the state is here to help you, and the state is the source of morality and virtue, and whatever the state says is right. Okay, that was not anything what I was intending to talk about today. Hang on. Because the first thing I had to do there is readjust the microphone. We're coming on this, haven't had lunch yet. Randy and I have been hanging out. I've been reviewing material. It got me all worked up and excited, and here we are. Last edition of Stating the Obvious. I read this article. I'm glad I didn't throw it away, because usually I just read the article, I wad it up, I toss it in the trash. I read this article. Here it is again. Let me read this to you one more time. Holding it in. After Evergreen Park High School in Illinois announced that students would be allowed to leave classroom to go to the bathroom only 3 times per semester, students who need to pee more often will have to make up class time after school. Now, I read this in the last edition of Stating the Obvious, and I made fun of this, and I haven't gone back and listened to that episode yet to see if I read it correctly. But in my great brain, and it's an infinite space inside my brain, because I'm that fucking smart. You know, Rush Limbaugh can argue with people with half his brain tied behind his back. I can't do that. You know why? Because you can't half infinity. Every time you half infinity, you still have infinity left over. That's why I'm infinitely more smarter than Rush Limbaugh, which actually isn't that hard to do. I've found some dust mites in the corner that are smarter than Rush Limbaugh. But anyway, back to my important point here. When I read this, in my brain, I interpreted this as saying you could only go to the bathroom 3 times per day. And I thought, wow, that's kind of lame. But then again, I mean, how many people go to the bathroom 3 times a day? You go between class, but no. And then afterwards, I looked at this again and I reread it, and I realized it says 3 times per semester, not semester. And we wonder why our kids are fucked up. You're a kid in this fucking high school. You can only go to the bathroom during class time 3 times per semester without being penalized for this. I'm sorry for all you feminazis out there who are all on the abortion bandwagon. Tell me again, who owns your body? Who controls your body? I'm pretty fucking sure that the Evergreen Park High School, whoever it is in Illinois, I'm pretty sure they own your body. If you're a student in that school, sounds to me like the state, the public education arm of the state, owns your body. You get to go to the bathroom 3 times per semester. What if you're not feeling good in class? What if something's going on and you have to vomit? Or what if something's going on and you got diarrhea? You got to go to the bathroom. What if you're a woman and it's menstruation time, right? And your pad is starting to leak or something like that. You need to go take care of these things. These are bodily functions. If you do that more than 3 times in a semester, you will be penalized and forced to take additional class, to spend more additional time in class. You have to, make up class time after school. Really? Really? That's freedom? That's fucking Obama's America? That's the change? That's the wonderful public education system that's doing such a great job and we need to give it more money and all this other shit? This is the public education system that you trust to feed your children, because God knows you can't get off your ass and fucking cook food for them. This is the public education system that you trust to teach your children about sex education. This is the public education system you trust to prepare your kids for college, which isn't that hard because college is a fucking joke. But I mean, come on. Come the fuck on. When are you goddamn statists out there gonna fucking wake up and pull your fucking heads out of your fucking asses? And you goddamn fucking feminazis who think that you own your bodies, I cannot fucking stop saying this to you. You're so fucking stupid. You do not own your body. The government, the state, the public education system owns your body, and it owns your children's bodies. And until you fucking wake up and get that through your pathetic little fucked up head, your right to an abortion is always going to be threatened. Because as soon as the Republicans get control, now that the government has all this power over healthcare, I've said this before, I'm about to say it again, I should put this down as a prediction on the fucking predictions page. Once the Republicans get sufficient control of the government, if you think they're not going to use the Health Reform Act, or whatever the fuck it was called, Obamacare, if you think they're not going to use Obamacare in some way or another to restrict your access to abortions, then you are a stupid bitch. And we all know you're a stupid bitch. But this is gonna prove it. I fucking tried to tell you dumb fucking whores before Obamacare was passed. But no, did anybody listen? Oh, fuck no. And of course, as I said before Obamacare was passed, if the people opposed to Obamacare really wanted to defeat Obamacare, all they had to do was go out in public and say, yes, we totally support Obamacare. Because that way, when we take control of the government, we will have control of healthcare, and then we will be able to make abortion illegal, and we're going to be able to stop women from murdering all these babies. And that right there would have gotten so many women to vote to be against Obamacare that the politicians would not have dared pass it. But of course, nobody listens to me. What the fuck do I know? Oh, let's see. Who is it that said Hillary Clinton would be next president? Oh, it was me that predicted that, and I was right, except that Hillary got screwed in the Democratic primaries, as we talked about in the previous edition of Stating the Obvious. And even though she had more votes than Obama, Obama got the nomination anyway. Because remember, you need to go out and vote because your vote counts. And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. I've heard, this will be shocking, I've heard that there were shenanigans at the Republican National Convention regarding Ron Paul. I know, it's hard to believe. Shenanigans in politics. I know, who would have ever thought? Anyhow, I have not yet investigated said shenanigans in order to comment on them. But I was going to say this. If I investigate these shenanigans, and I find out that what happened was that Ron Paul somehow or another got fucked out of the nomination, I'm not going to be real surprised. I am not going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. There was voting fraud at the Republican National Convention? No fucking way. That would never, ever happen in politics. Okay, all right, that's great. Hold on, I need to write this down. I need to do the abortion Obamacare prediction on the prediction. I need to put the prediction on the prediction page. What a shocking idea. Where else would you put it? All right, so anyhow, you can only piss or shit or vomit or change your Kotex or anything else you might need to do in the bathroom. You can only do that 3 times a semester without being penalized in our prison-like public school system funded by the federal government and the state government and designed to turn your children into mindless zombies who can work in factories. Yes, and it needs more funding because it's so underfunded. I mean, how much money does it take to make a kid stay late after school because the child had to piss 3 times in the one semester? I mean, how much money does that require? Speaking of the medicated generation, let me get some short stuff out of the way first before we go into the long stuff. This happened a while back. CSU student loses legs in train accident. The girl, whose name has not yet been released, was apparently trying to hop aboard the train at around 1:30 p.m. Monday when the accident occurred. No alcohol or drugs were suspected to have contributed to the incident. One of her friends was also dragged by the train, but according to Sutter, only sustained light abrasions to his left arm and was treated at the scene and released. This is a 17-year-old Colorado State University student. I'm about to read the other. She's 17 and she's already in college. I guess then again, the public school system doesn't exactly discriminate. You can be young and dumb and still get out early. Now, the 17-year-old Colorado State student university... Take two. The 17-year-old Colorado State University student who lost her legs after falling from a freight train in Longmont Monday is in serious condition, a statement the victim's family said. The victim, Anna Benatti, Benati, is currently being treated at Denver Medical Health Center, where she's blah, 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 blah. 17-year-old college student, 12 years of public education, or maybe 11. She was accelerated or something. I don't know. College student, hey, look. There's a moving train. Let's try to get on the moving train. Because that's something that the future of America would do. Right? That's something that a member of the smartest generation ever. Hey, a moving train. Let's try to jump onto that. There couldn't possibly be any negative ramifications of jumping onto a moving train. And the benefits of jumping on this moving train are huge. How do I know that? Because I went to public school. I'm a 17-year-old college student. I'm the future of America. I'm the smartest generation ever, and I have an iPhone. I mean, it's kind of sad that this little 17-year-old girl got her legs cut off. But you know what? If you stick a fork in the electrical socket, you can't act surprised when you get shocked. And if the public education system, and if college, if it's all working so well, and if these kids are so smart, and if they're the future of America, and if they're the smartest generation ever, and bloody fucking blah, then why are they trying to jump on moving trains? And more importantly, why the fuck is she falling off of it? If you're going to jump on a moving train, don't fucking fall off. Obviously, the public education system needs more money because we need to educate these children how not to fall off the moving trains that they jump onto. What's that? Randy is pointing out that I seem to have a lot of aggression today. I do. I'm just so fucking sick of being... By the way, in the control room on the other side of the glass there, on the other side of the wall, is the lovely and adorable Randy. I mentioned I am the great one himself. You can contact us at Stating the Obvious by sending an email to God, that's dog spelled backwards, God at cynlibsoc.com. Cynical Libertarian Society is on the internet at cynlibsoc.com. If you go there, you will be offended by the content. I guarantee it, because this podcast is not here to make friends or support your delusional fantasies about how wonderful you are and how wonderful the state is and how it's okay to murder people as long as a politician does it. The purpose of this podcast is to tell the truth. For example, if you jump on a fucking moving train and you fall off and get your legs cut off, you should not be surprised. That, my friends, is called natural selection. Offensive? Yes. True? Yes. All right, where did this come from? What's the source on this? This is from Glamour magazine. I read a lot of fashion-oriented magazines like Glamour and Vogue and stuff like that because I'm a photographer and I like to look at the pictures and, get inspiration and steal ideas like all good artists do. Because remember, imitation is the highest form of flattery, and I have no problem stealing great ideas. Anyhow, so along the way I get exposed to fantastic crap like this. This is from Glamour magazine, and this is one of those things, two opposing viewpoints is what I'm looking for there. My brain is working. Opposing viewpoint thing. So we have two opposing viewpoints here. I'm going to read both of these. Should college kids be allowed to carry guns? Is the question at hand. Here's the first one. This is from Amy Cowie, Cowie. She's 21. She's an expert on many things because she's 21 years old. She has so much life experience that her opinion is really fucking important. And she's from Jacksonville, Florida. Here's her opinion based on her many, many years of life experience. No, my twin sister died in my arms because a guy had a rifle. A little over a year ago, my twin sister Ashley and I were hanging out watching TV and eating pistachios at the Lamba Chai frat house at Florida State University where we attended school. Around 1:15 a.m., Ashley went to the bathroom, the exact moment that one of the guys in the next room, Evan Wilhelm, was showing off his rifle. Just as Ashley came out, the gun went off accidentally. She never made it past the doorway. I'm still in shock. Ashley was my identical twin. I was born with her. We ate together. We shared our clothes. That night she was wearing my pants and I had on her Burberry scarf. Alright, I can't. I was going to try to read this all the way through without stopping and inserting commentary, but I can't do it. I can't do it. Okay, first of all, what are you doing hanging out watching TV and eating pistachios at 1:15 in the morning? Shouldn't you be sleeping so you can fucking go to class the next day and learn things that you're supposed to be doing in college? Why don't you, if you're up there, why don't you do some fucking homework? Okay? Oh, that's right, you're the smartest generation ever. You have Google. Now, they're in a frat house. What is she doing at 1:15 a.m. in a fucking frat house watching TV? Why isn't she at home? Or in her sorority house, whatever. Why isn't she sleeping? Why is she... What? Ugh. No, what? Well, no, but she shouldn't be there because no, Randy, she does not own her body. The school system owns her body. The school system tells her when she can fucking urinate. She does not have freedom to choose where she wants to go. That's nonsense. All right, Ashley is her identical twin. We were born together. Oh, wait. As opposed to identical twins that aren't born together? Really? I don't know this, but I wonder if Amy is a journalism major. Because that sounds exactly like the sort of thing a journalism major would write. That night, she was wearing my pants. Well, what the fuck were you wearing? Were you naked? Were you just in your underwear or what? What the fuck is going on? All right. Guns are not permitted at FSU, and Evan had been charged with manslaughter. He has pleaded not guilty. But since Ashley's death, my father helped defeat a proposed Florida law that would have made some firearms legal on campuses. They're allowed at more than 220 colleges and universities in other states. I want to speak out too. Yes, she wants to speak out because she knows she's just an insignificant slave on the plantation of the state. She knows that she doesn't matter, and so she wants to get her voice out there and her opinion out there because she wants the government, she wants the state to hunt down and find people who have firearms on college campuses and kill those people if they resist having those firearms taken away from them. Because remember, when the state kills people intentionally, it's okay. When somebody else kills someone accidentally, oh, it's evil. And we must pass more laws, and we must have more police, and we must have more enforcement, and we must have more taxes, and we must have more violence. Because killing people is bad, unless it's the state killing people I want dead. Then it's okay. It's okay. When the state kills the people I want it to kill, it's only wrong to kill when it happens accidentally. Making guns illegal would only result in more... making guns... Let me read that again. So she's talking about blah, blah, blah. She wants to speak out. Making guns legal would only result in more tragedies like our families. Firearms are just not appropriate in a college setting. Even when trained to use one, too many young people think they're invincible and don't make good decisions. Wait, if young people think they're invincible and don't make good decisions, is that because of the firearms? Or do you think maybe that has something to do with... Wait for it! The public education system! If young people make bad decisions... You think that might have anything to do with their parenting? If young people make bad good decisions. You think that might have anything to do with endless hours of Facebook and internet and cell phone and texting and Googling and inability to interact with other human beings and selfishness and me, and oh, Obama is my God and all this other shit. And where did they get all of this from? Whoa, did it their parents maybe? And public education. Okay, if young people, same difference. If young people don't make good decisions, is it any wonder nobody wants to fucking hire them for jobs? Is it any wonder the unemployment rate among young people is higher than amongst old people, quote unquote? How's that public education system working for you and your poor decisions, honey? All right. There are other ways to protect yourself. Pepper spray, a whistle, a flashlight. Since Ashley's death, we've set up a scholarship in her name, but I've lost the person I loved most in the world. That shouldn't happen to anyone else. No. Nobody should lose the person they love most in the world. Nobody should die. We need to make dying illegal. And of course, the state loves people like this bitch because the state wants gun control. The state wants to be able to implement more violence, raise taxes, have more police forces, kill more people in foreign countries with flying robots, all this stuff. And dumb whores like Amy just contribute to this with her stupid ass fucking beliefs. Now, let's address for a moment the guy who accidentally shot her sister. Should you be in a frat house with your... Yeah, you should probably be in a frat house with a rifle. I don't have a problem with that part. Should your rifle, when you're showing it off, have been loaded? No. This idiot obviously does not understand basic gun safety. Again, why is that? Well, because he wasn't educated properly. He went through public education. Obviously, also, his parents failed. I mean, if I had children, I would educate them about gun safety because my children would have guns. And they would know that when you pick up a fucking weapon, the first thing you do is you make sure it's unloaded, and you do this in a way that it's safe. And there are ways to do this, and that's called learning. This is the kind of stuff we can't teach that in public school because, God forbid, in a public school you can talk about destruction of the environment, and you can hate on rich people, and you can tell people how to have sex and all this other stuff. Although they don't do that very well either. But the point is, one thing you're not allowed to simply explain to people. If you would it kill? Would it destroy the fabric of America if children in school simply watched, among all the time they spend staring at screens, if every year they were showed a video about gun safety that simply showed, if you see a gun, this is what, there's a gun laying there, how do you walk up to a gun, pick it up, safely examine the gun, make sure it's on safe, and then clear the chamber so there's not a bullet in it? Would that kill anybody? Well, that's hilarious. That's great. Would that kill anybody? No, it wouldn't kill anybody. In fact, if people understood how to do that, it might save lives. But no, if we show the kids a video of the gun in school, they'll all turn into homicidal maniacs because we all know that guns kill people. Guns exert mind control over people and turn people into violent killers, unless, of course, those people are wearing costumes. If you're a police officer and you have all sorts of shit tons of guns, or if you're in the military and you have guns out the ass, and you have tanks and you have flying robots and you have nuclear weapons, those are perfectly okay. But if you're just a private citizen, who's a slave at some corporation, or you've got all these school loans and you're going to college and you're being indoctrinated with bullshit and you have no future hope of a job and you're probably going to be unemployed and your mind's been filled with bullshit, if you have a gun, if you see a gun on TV, it's going to turn you into a killer because guns have mind control. Woo, 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 woo. Everybody in this story is a fucking idiot. Amy is an idiot. The guy who shot Amy's sister, Ashley, that guy is a fucking idiot. And both of these idiots are products of public education. Both of these idiots are members of the smartest generation ever. Both of these idiots are the future of America. Both of these idiots are products of the state. Now, the opposing viewpoint, which I'm still going to make fun of just because that's what I do. Yes, if I'd had my gun, I might have stopped my rapist. By the time I turned 5 or 6, my dad had me at target practice. At 22, I got my concealed and carry permit. Oh, sorry, this is from Amanda Collins. She's 26 years old. She's from Reno, Nevada. All right. By the time I turned 5 or 6, my dad had me at target practice. At 22, I got my conceal and carry permit and my own Glock. I really wanted that firearm because on a tall day, I'm only 5'2", and I knew it would be the one equalizing factor for me if I were ever attacked, which I was. After a night class during my junior year at the University of Nevada, Reno, I was headed to my Nissan in a campus garage. Nice product placement there, Amanda. She was heading to her Nissan. I wonder if Nissan paid her for that. In a campus garage where a man jumped out from between cars. He put a pistol to my temple and clicked off the safety. I knew the sound. Yet she actually knew because she had been trained. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Training. It's good for you. He told me to keep quiet before he brutally raped me. Of course I didn't have my gun. UNR, like most schools, bans them. So what should you have done? You should have taken the fucking thing anyway. Unless, of course, they have metal detectors and guards to search you, because just as public schools are becoming more and more prison-like, so are college campuses. I mean, I've been near CSU for 14 years now, maybe a long time, at least 10 years. Very, very slowly, it's becoming more and more police state-ish. Very, very slowly, areas of campus, like buildings and things, they're restricting access more and more. And places where you used to be able to go in, like the library used to be generally open to the public. You could go in, you can use a computer, whatever. They're clamping down on that. It's very, I've seen it over time because I've been here. Very slowly, it's becoming more and more police state. It's becoming more and more prison-like. Of course, I didn't have my gun. UNR, like most schools, bans them. After he attacked me, that man, James Bella, B-I-E-L-A, raped at least one other woman and went on to kill a third. I testified at his trial and the sentencing that dealt him the death penalty. Now, of course, people come out and go, oh, you can't. Death penalty, that's wrong. Yes, but raping and killing people, perfectly okay. And you know why that's okay with statist? Because the fact, I've said this, let me finish this first, and I'll go back. Would things have gone differently if I had my weapon? I think so. True, you can carry pepper spray, but chances are you've never used it before, and it may not work fast enough. And whistles work only if help is nearby. Women talk about choice over what to do with their body. Well, I consider it the ultimate choice to decide how I'm going to defend mine. Let me read that sentence again. For those of you in the feminazi crowd who think that you own your body. Women talk about choice over what they do with their body. Well, I consider it the ultimate choice to decide how I'm going to defend mine. But of course, those of you feminazi cunt bags out there who think you own your body and think you can get an abortion anytime you want because of that are absolutely fucking terrified of this attitude. You're terrified that women think they should have the choice to be able to defend their body from attack. That scares the shit out of you, doesn't it? And I'm going to say why as soon as I finish this fucking article, if I can focus here. As it is now, criminals know they will be unmatched when they enter university grounds. Had I been able to stop Bila, more rapes could have been prevented, and a young woman might still have her life. Yes, exactly. Again, this has been said so many times by so many people other than me. When people want to go out and rape or shoot or kill or whatever, you don't go to places where people are going to be armed. You don't go to gun ranges. You don't go to gun shows. You don't go to gun stores. You go to places like public schools and college campuses where you know your victims are going to be unarmed, and it will be easier for you to kill them, and you will not be under any threat of being killed yourself. Now, what was the big point? What was the other point I was going to make about this? I already forgot. Oh, yes! How could I forget? It's one of my favorite points to make over and over and over. Ow, that was me hitting an object with my hand as I flail around in the recording studio here. The state loves this. The state is so fucking happy that this girl got raped because this creates, now those of you who are statists can come out and say, see, look, this is what happens. When you let that gun caused him to rape her and there was nothing she could do, and if she would have had her gun, blah, blah, and now she's a victim, and every woman that gets raped, the state loves it. The state loves it when women get raped. This is why college campuses don't have guns on them, because more rape victims means more power for the state. It means more stupid little whores like Amy Cowie going out there and going, we have to take more guns away from people, and we have to give more guns to the police, because that's the only way women are going to be safe. Women can't defend themselves. Oh, honey, bless your heart. You can't carry a pistol and defend yourself. You need to let the state defend you. The police will defend you. You need to trust the state, honey. We can't let you have a gun. You might hurt yourself. Sorry, girls. That's not the way it works. The state cannot defend you. The police cannot defend you. Where were the police when this woman was getting raped? They were at a fucking donut shop. Where was the state when Amanda needed help to avoid being raped, when she needed to escape this rapist who has a pistol? Where was the state? Where were the police? Where were the administrators? Where were the cultural diversity department of this college? Where were all those fucking people? Where was Obama? Where was the Messiah? Why didn't he just magically appear and just calm down the whole situation? Just wave his hands in the air and turn some water into wine, and multiply some loaves of bread or something. Where was the Messiah when this woman needed hope and change? How much time do we have left, Randy? Yeah, see, not enough time to go into that, because I'm going to rant about Apple for a long time. Hold on. Fortunately, I have the pile. A pile. What do we got here? Let's see what we got here. Oh, nice. Talking about the medicated generation. Congress blocks school lunch overhaul. Congress this week shelved proposed changes to the nation's school lunch program that were designed to reduce childhood obesity by adding fruits and vegetables while cutting French fries and pizza. The changes proposed by the Agriculture Department in the first 15 years... The changes proposed by the Agriculture Department, the first in 15 years, to the $11 billion school lunch program would have added $6.8 billion in taxpayer cost over 5 years, and so were rejected by House Republicans as, quote, overly burdensome and costly regulations, unquote, that would restrict the freedom of local school districts to plan their own menus. With the overhaul defeated, the tomato paste on a slice of frozen pizza still counts as a serving of vegetables. There's so much that's wrong with this. There's so much. Oh my God, there's so much. All right. Public education. Okay, so first of all, why is the federal government involved in public education? There's the first problem. Second problem, why does it cost that much money to feed the fucking kids? Next problem, you're spending money buying food anyway. Is it really more expensive to buy real food as opposed to buying shit like frozen pizza? All right, next problem. If there were no public schools, parents could send their children to schools where they actually feed them real food, and the schools that call pizza a vegetable would go out of business. The next problem, why in the fuck can't parents send their kids to school with some fucking food? How hard is that? Next problem, why can't the kids prepare their own goddamn food? Next problem, So if public education is so great, why is this great? How is more money going to help this? The next problem. So let's say the federal government isn't. So the state governments are the ones who are making decisions about things like pizza is food. Why is the state government involved in the education system? Why did the state governments control the schools? Why can't the schools be publicly owned or privately owned? Privately owned and operated. Just like if you go to a fucking restaurant and you order vegetables and they bring you a slice of frozen pizza, you leave. And all of this happens magically, without any government intervention, without any regulations, without billions of dollars of taxpayer money. It happens because you have a choice. You can go in there and you can say, I want vegetables. They give you frozen pizza. You can look at them and say, dude, this is not fucking vegetables. I'm taking my business elsewhere. But with public schools, there's a monopoly. And there's laws and there's regulations. And if you try to take your child somewhere else, if you try to take your child to a school where pizza is not a vegetable, the government will kill you. The government will come and forcibly try to take your child and put your child in the school where pizza is a vegetable. And do you really think the terrorists hate us for our freedom? Do you really believe that? When the government forces your children to go to schools where pizza is a vegetable, and you have no choice in it, if you try to send your child somewhere else, your child will be forcibly taken to that school, and if you try hard enough to stop them, the government will murder you. And you think the motherfucking terrorists hate us for our fucking freedom? Not only is pizza a vegetable, but the child can only shit the vegetable out 3 times per semester during class time, or else he'll have to stay after school. Oh, freedom. Freedom, it's so wonderful. I can smell the hope and the change that Obama is cooking. Yeah. Privacy dies with a whimper. Jonathan Tully, The Washington Post. How much privacy should Americans expect? Asked Jonathan Turley. The answer to that question may determine whether the government will soon have the right to track you 24 hours a day without a warrant. Under current government law, the government needs a warrant to conduct any kind of surveillance that intrudes on a citizen's reasonable expectation of privacy. But in a new case before the Supreme Court and the Obama administration, remember now, this is the Obama administration. This is the hope and the change. This is the most ethical administration ever. The Obama administration last week argued that police should not be required to get a warrant to affix a GPS tracker to your car to see if you're involved in any crimes when driving. You can't really expect any privacy, can you? It may sound Orwellian, but GPS tracking is just a next step to the rapid erosion of privacy that followed 9/11. One of its fears of out of its fear of terrorism, the public has accepted airport pat-downs, surveillance of phone calls and emails, and constant monitoring by TV cameras in public places and offices. In this brave new world, we think Big Brother makes us safer, so don't be surprised when privacy disappears altogether. Quote, the problem is not with the government, but with us, unquote. And it's true. You people are so fucking terrified, not just of terrorism. You know, you're terrified that the kid in the frat house might have a rifle, or you're terrified that, you know, some child might need to go to the bathroom during class, or you're terrified that somebody might be smoking a cigarette someplace that's not allowed, or you're terrified of the terrorists, or you're terrified that the homosexuals are going to get married and society's going to collapse. You know, you're, whatever it is, all of you statists out there, you're so fucking terrified of something, of somebody, that you're willing to let the government do these things. Now, this case, I think this court case has already concluded, because this article is old. The important part here isn't necessarily the court case itself. God, there's a tongue twister. But the fact that the Obama administration, the hope and the change, the most transparent and the most ethical administration ever, the administration that ran, against the Patriot Act, is running around saying, well, no, the police shouldn't need a warrant to put a GPS tracker on your car. I mean, that's your fucking hope and your change that you voted for? Really? That's it? That's it? That's what you motherfuckers want? And it is what you motherfuckers want, because you always think, well, it's going to be other people, though, that the police will be tracking with a GPS. It's going to be other people that get arrested. It's going to be other people that get detained at the airport. That's why I support the TSA. It's going to be other people that get raped. That's why I don't think anybody should be allowed to carry a gun to defend themselves. All of this rabid giving away of your freedom is because you're afraid. And don't misunderstand me. Your freedom, your privacy, is yours to give away. If you believe that you should not be allowed to carry a handgun, and if you believe that your child should go to a school where pizza is a vegetable, and if you believe that your child should only be allowed to urinate 3 times per semester during class time, and if you believe that the police should be able to put a GPS tracker on your car to see if you're involved in crimes, if you believe those, and that for you, that's great. The problem here is that you statists want to take all of that and apply it to everybody else. And anybody who doesn't want to comply with those things, you want the state to kill them. That's the problem. If you want those things for you in your life, you have the freedom to give up your freedom. You have the freedom to let the police track you. You have the freedom to not carry a firearm to defend yourself. You have the freedom to fuck your children up by sending them to a school that's going to teach them bullshit. You have those freedoms, but you don't have the freedom to impose those restrictions on other people. Detroit, anything that happens in Detroit, can't be good, because Detroit is just a shithole. Here we go. Detroit. Emergency plans hatched. Detroit was forced to outline emergency plans to escape insolvency this week. And yeah, this is ancient. Oh my God, this is December. See, I should try to catch up on the pile once in a while. This is from December of 2011. I should maybe try to find out how this turned out. It's still hilarious, because as I have pointed out in the past, for those of you who are going, why should we listen to this? It's from December 2011. Because as I pointed out in the past, this is not a current events show. And the fact that I'm reading something from December 2011 proves that. This is a show about philosophy. What's wrong with this is wrong. This is what I find a lot of young people can't grasp. Let's talk about the medicated generation for a minute instead of Detroit. This is what there's so many things wrong with the future of America, the smartest generation ever, the dumbest generation, the medicated generation, those of you under the age of 30. And one of these things is that there's this attitude that anything that happened more than, say, 7 minutes ago is somehow irrelevant. People out there are saying, well, this was December of 2011. That doesn't matter. Well, no, it does matter. Things that happen in the past, they matter. If I kill somebody 8 minutes ago, just because it's been more than 7 minutes, that doesn't mean it was okay for me to kill that person. Okay? Things that happened in the past not only are still right or wrong or good or bad or violate the non-aggression principle, or don't violate the non-aggression principle, or don't violate property rights or do violate property rights. These things still have meaning, even though they're in the past. Furthermore, the past, believe it or not, happens to influence the present and the future. It's not just some disconnected shit that you can ignore. So many people today, the medicated generation, they're like, seriously, like anything about history, well, that was then. This is now. We're smarter now. We have Google. I'm so fucking sick of hearing about how fucking smart you little fuckwads are because you have Google. I'm so fucking sick of hearing that. Yes, you have Google, but you can't think. Now we're almost out of time. Emergency plans hatched. Detroit was forced to outline emergency plans to escape insolvency this week after Mayor Dave Bing revealed that the city could run out of cash by April 2012. Bing has called for the city to save $118 million a year by laying off 1,000 employees. Wow, 1,000 employees will save $118 million. How much are each of those people getting paid? That is fucking unreal. Or about 9% of the city's payroll. Oh my God. Wow. Do some math on that. Okay, raising corporate taxes. Yes, that's a great idea. Let's raise taxes on the only people that are actually providing jobs in the city limits, because they won't move or lay people off or fire people or anything like that. No. And outsourcing services such as public lighting and city buses. But the city council wants to go much further, cutting as many as 2,300 jobs and raising the city's income tax rates. Yes, raise taxes on the people who actually work for a living. That'll solve your problems. Detroit's labor unions are opposed to both plans. The first time I've ever agreed with a labor union, saying the stringent cuts would leave the government powerless, which is, okay, I don't agree with that part of it. I agree with them opposing it. I don't agree with their reasons. Quote, there's a point of diminishing return when the city becomes unmanageable and uninhabitable, unquote, says John Rehal, a local union president. Detroit faces a cash flow shortfall of $45 million unless it cuts spending. I think Detroit is already uninhabitable. It's been a long time since I was there, but it wasn't much to look at when I was there. God, I don't even know how many years ago. So long ago. So long. It's so long ago. Because anything more than 7 minutes ago is ancient history, and we can just ignore that. We can pretend that didn't happen. Especially, if it was like the Messiah saying that he was going to fix the economy and create more jobs and end the wars and be the most ethical administration ever and be transparent and repeal the Patriot Act and all this other shit. When we were talking about privacy, did I mention that the Obama administration, which supports putting GPS trackers on people's cars without warrants, is perfectly okay with police forces using drones in the United States of America to spy on people in the cities and areas that they cover? Did I mention that the most ethical presidential administration ever supports that? That's fantastic. That's awesome, man. I love it. I love the Messiah. He is the shit. Oh my God, I want to vote for him so bad. The hope and the change. Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to check up on this Detroit thing. I'm gonna go to Google. I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna see what Google says, because whatever Google says is right. I don't need to bother with the other side. I'm always right. Oh yeah, motherfuckers. Alright, Randy and I are gonna take a lunch break. Then we're coming back. I'm feeling the power. I'm feeling the hope and the change. Oh, I'm feeling it. We might even do an edition of Cult of Personality, because I've got an Obama stack. Oh my God. Messiah has been working it lately.